So I got a John Deere riding lawnmower. I've been working on it, but I'm not exactly a mechanic. I'm very good with machines, but also it depends on the machine. Is it something I have experience with? When it comes to carburetors, I have worked with carburetors before on chainsaws and on one of my Chevy pickups. So I mean, I'm capable. I was able to make my pickup run. I was able to make most of the chainsaws run. Sometimes there's stuff that you just can't fix. Um, a lot of that comes down to there's basically three little screws on the carburetor on my Briggs and Stratton motor, um, and they need adjusted until they work right. Well, that's not the only issue. It's also there's a float in the carburetor, and when debris gets in there and gets in between the float, which is supposed to go up and down based on the amount of gasoline in pardon me, Velociraptor. Um, so it's not easy. Be nice if it was, wouldn't it? Um, so Clint, he was gonna help me with my carburetor a couple of days ago, and I went by and I didn't see his vehicle there. Nobody was home. So I went by yesterday, same thing. I could hear people across the street, which is where they usually hang out, but I didn't see him over there. So I'm still working on it, I guess, is the way to say it. Um, there was a game last night or the night before, a football game. And of course, after the football game, there were some kids driving through town, and they were in a dark gray SUV, or sorry, minivan. I thought it was funny to scream stuff out the window at me every time they passed. Um, I pulled out my iPad thing so that the next time that they drove by cursing and being profane like that, I could catch them doing it. Apparently, by that time, it was already past their bedtime because they were done harassing me for the night. And I got neighbors here. There's one neighbor, she lives back where I used to live, actually, my old apartment. And when I let her know about the crap I'm going through, because people want to complain about me being a good guy, apparently. She said, well, me and Cindy have problems too. They're not following the rules that they're supposed to. They're taking their dear sweet time on everything, and makes sense. Cindy is supposed to get me my paperwork that she promised me 6 months ago, over 6 months ago. So the lady that I got to talk to when we did the walkthroughs or whatever, which by the way, they didn't really walk through my house. They came through and checked the AC controls were working, that the um, smoke detector was working, and the carbon monoxide detector. But we did not go back through the apartment like I was told we would do as soon as this COVID thing was over. But then again, is this COVID thing over? No, it's not. But also the thing is, if I move out and they haven't gone through and checked the stuff that they got wrong to begin with. They're going to stick me with the bill for it. Now, the only reason that I signed that piece of paper is because of the COVID shit. I didn't sign it to get extra bills. I ended up with extra bills for the situation with Natalie here. And that complicated. Well, I was living here at low income in Chapel, Nebraska. Right before Natalie died, I was in the process of moving out from here to Colorado so that I could be closer to the Front Range where there's actual services for people who are autistic, not this Nazi fucking bullshit where they pretend like they care, but you're different, so they're gonna fucking stomp on you anyway. Meanwhile, I get told by people with families who said, "Oh yeah, Sean, I'm on your side, I'll help you out." "Oh, Sean, I can't help you out, I got family." Fuck you. Maybe you should have thought about that before imposing yourself on my situation, Jace Jepson. Maybe if you were too much of a fucking coward to speak up, Jace Jepson, maybe you should have just left me the fuck alone to do what it is that I was doing. Because obviously, Jace Jepson, you're too much of a fucking pussy. You're too much of a fucking coward. It's sad to me to know that Gary Jepson is related to people like you. I mean, the man has spent his entire life, taking care of Chapel, Nebraska, taking care of the people of Chapel, Nebraska, whether they're rich, poor. Now, Jace Jepson, he's different. For Gary, he had to earn those tools, and his sons had to earn those tools. Jace didn't. They were already there. It was already available for his access, simply because he's related. I recorded a conversation with Jace. It is on my YouTube here. It's also on my Facebook. About just part of the situations that I had to deal with at the hands of Dual County Sheriff's Department. Because nobody wanted to keep their word. They wanted to make empty promises, but not keep their word. But it's fine. You don't have to keep your word to a disabled person. They're not human. Nobody will fucking care, will they? Of course not. Of course nobody's gonna fucking care. Black Lives Matters doesn't even care about the black homeless people. And that's all that people care about right now is BLM. We got racists on both sides of that bullshit. Here in Chapel, Nebraska, they're on the white people's side. I'm not on black people's side either. I'm on the side of human beings, regardless of skin color, regardless of gender. There's a lot of stuff that I'm willing to let go. Child molesters ain't one of them. Ted Bollinger belongs in prison. And for what his daughter Alicia did, she belongs in prison too. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because it has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has to do with what's popular. And who tells you what's popular? There's a couple folks in town that right after Natalie died, they talked to me and told me, "Oh yeah, it'll all blow over." Then a year and a half later, I come back. How'd that all turn out? It didn't, motherfucker. It didn't turn out. I'm still fighting that shit. Because unlike Jace Jepson, I don't have a family that gives a shit. I still stand up to you, son of a bitches. I'll stand up to racists regardless of your skin color. I grew up in the system. I know that white people are not the only people capable of racism. If you want to sell a racist narrative, that's on you. If you actually have been victimized for the color of your skin, I'm on your side. But if you're going to pretend that every single thing that happens to you that you don't like must be because of your skin color, you're a racist piece of shit who's not paying any goddamn attention to his surroundings. And if you're a racist piece of shit who doesn't know what the fuck is going on, then you don't get to have an opinion. You're allowed to have it. I'm just not required to listen. Fuck the police.